It's here. It's finally here. Hornby's Red Rover train set. I've been wanting this for quite a while, so I ordered it last Friday. The company I bought it from said that if I paid for $7.99, I'd be able to get a Saturday postage. So I did that, and well, here it is on a Tuesday. Lovely. Lovely. Thanks, Yodel. But yeah, as I said, here is Hornby's Red Rover train set in its striking packaging. And people think I'm crazy, but I do love a good package to the product that I buy. It just makes the whole experience a lot better. And obviously, if you're keeping the things, you can put them back in the box, and you've obviously got something to have a look at. Usual box. On the back, it shows you the track plans. You can add on and buy your track and bits and bobs, track pack A and track pack B, but we're not interested in that today. So the first part of this video was done in work. I wanted to save some time because I had a busy day, so I thought, why not? I'll set it up in work and then we'll do the rest when I get home. So this is the Red Rover train set, as I said, and it comes with a Class 67 in this lovely DB cargo livery. We also get a tippler wagon, British Steel tippler wagon. We get a container wagon, and we get a long wheelbase tanker, which is lovely. So the first thing to notice that I've noticed, and I do buy a lot of train sets, is you've got the main box. You open the box and you've got your rolling stock and your track separate. They're in separate containers, and I think this is brilliant, because if you just plan to use the rolling stock, you can whip that out and you can just put it back, put your rolling stock in, put it back. It's just so much easier. Brilliant idea. So where we got your details pack there, lovely. And we're going to put that back down, and we're going to have a look at the second part. So in the other part, you've got all your tracks. So you get your third radius curves, you get a set of points, you get 2 double straights, you obviously get your controller and your power plug, and then the track mat, which is standard with every train set. We'll just pop that back in there. So this train set retails somewhere between sort of $158 and $190. I managed to get this for $139.99. So at that price point, this is what I'm going to review it at. I'm not going to review it at if I paid $190 or $150 or $160. I'm going to review it as a $139.99 train set. And boy, for that money, you get a good set. So first up, we got the DB Cargo liveried Class 67. This is quite a weighty loco, which is fantastic. It's got quite a bit of detail on for what is essentially a cheap loco. If you were to buy this loco on its own, you'd be looking around about £88. So really, straight away off the bat, before we get started, that, you know, a $139.99 train set, you're already doing well there. Even if you that was all you bought it for, was the loco or the rolling stock, you can make some money back on the track, especially with the price of track now. Track has just gone sort of crazy. The only disappointment for me is this. It's the container wagon. It's so light. It's unbelievable. It really does need some weighting in it. And as you're going to see later on in the video, it does look a little bit wobbly. And obviously the container's not held on in any real way. It's just a couple of pins there, plastic pins, and it sits on top. It really, really could do with some weighting. It feels cheap. But again, at the price point that I bought it, I can't really complain. How will we closer to the 190? Yeah, I'd expect a little bit better from that wagon, to be honest. We've got our tippler wagon, our British Steel tippler wagon. This is actually heavier than the container wagon, surprisingly. But that's just the way it is. All the bogies and everything feel a little bit cheap, little bit. I don't know. They should feel better, but I was really worried when I was obviously filming this that they were going to be a bit wobbly and just keep derailing, and luckily, as we'll find out, that's not the case. And then we've got a long wheelbase tanker. These have been around since the dawn of time. I've got quite a few different versions of these. This one again is fine, will do the job, nicely weighted, exactly what I would expect. But just a quick note, I do like the little plastic that they've been putting over the loco and the rolling stock in this train set. It used to be paper, which obviously would rip the more you put it in and out, so that's a good call. So this is the back of my warehouse. I cleared a little bit of space, ignore the carpet. We're always busy at the warehouse and work, so I thought I'd set it up So this is what you get. You got your third radius curved oval with a set of points. Obviously the sidings here not really big enough to get any more than 2 wagons in, but again it adds to the overall experience when you consider there are some starter sets now which are literally just an oval. So you've got 2 pieces of straight track and then you've got your curves, you know, for 119 quid, small 040 and 2 wagons. This is just blows that out of the water. This is the perfect set at a great price point if you want to get started, and you want to get started in model rails with a brand new set. This is really, really good for that price point. I don't know how much money they're making on this, but if they'd have launched this set at around that sort of 150 price, I think, to be honest with you, they probably would have sold hundreds of them. So it does have working lights as well, which is a lovely little touch. And I think that's the thing. Recently, I've been getting more and more into the modern era stuff rather than the steam locos. And I don't know, something about the modern era stuff, I just quite like it. And I'm not a big sort of train model, well, not sort of a big train guy. I just like the nostalgia feel. But yeah, I thought I'd put it around. I run the loco and the full train with the consist for around about 20 minutes either way. So it was running quite smooth. It was a little bit noisy at first, but then after that, it was absolutely fine, to be honest with you. It's what I would expect. It doesn't really have any capabilities to crawl really slowly. It's sort of either at a good speed or not. I did a little quick test here with the points because I was worried about that container wagon. I really had this thing in my head that it was going to derail. So I thought we'd try the points. You can see that where the loco stopped, everything's a little bit wobbly. And you can see it. You can see it in the footage there. And that's purely just down to the wagons having no weight in them. You know, the only one really is the tanker. The rest of them are quite light. So this is me trying to make it crawl into the sidings. It didn't really want to do it. You can see the jerkiness, and then obviously it pops into a speed. This is also something I noticed with it as well. If you have the speed a little bit too high and you instantly turn it on or off on the switch, it will derail. So now we're at home. I decided to get it on the first radius. So this is a big test for me. I have first radius as my layout. I've always had first radius. It's just something I like. It's a small room. It's what I've got to work with. So I want to see if this works. There's a lot of locomotives that will work just fine. As soon as you add rolling stock, they don't work so great. So I thought we'd get it down, get it onto the layout. Let's see how it does. You can see the working headlights there. It has absolutely no problem with the first radius. No problem at all. To be fair, with the way that it's set up, with the way that the bogies are set up, you would expect it to be able to handle this absolutely no problem. And it does that with ease. Something I've done recently though, and I will do an update on what's going on with the layout, is I've added a second radius underneath. This is purely just for me to be able to run bigger locos that just don't want to work on the first radius. So if you can see here, there's a passing siding here as the loco goes past there now. So that is basically first radius into second radius points, and then a left half second radius. This plays absolute havoc with most locos that I buy, and if they can manage it, as soon as you give them some rolling stock, they really do struggle. So I'm going to show you a little bit later in the video how it does with that. But this is the speed that you're going to get. Anything less than that speed and it's a little bit jerky. So if you're someone like me who likes to crawl your locos around, it's not going to happen. So this is a heads-up shot, I should say, a bird's eye view shot of what we're working with. As you can see there, as I say, it comes round on the first radius. We've got the second radius points, and then we've got a half second radius, a little straight, and then back into another set of points. So it's a huge test for this loco to see if it can do it. And you're probably thinking it'll do it with ease. And look at that, no problem at all. Which is kind of weird because I didn't expect this to work with the way how light the wagons were, and the fact that you can see Daisy in the background there. She can't do that. She can't do it. She cannot get through that. I know it's got a shorter wheelbase. Obviously, the longer wheelbase on this Class 67 is probably helping, but I'm just happy that it works. And I think going further, I'm going to do more modern era items because they just tend to work like steam locos and stuff. They don't really want to run on first radius. And I understand that with the way the wheels make up. So I'm going to prove the point here. There we are. Derailed. Daisy's derailed and the coaches are derailed. She just can't handle it. I don't know why. And I've tried her on her own. She doesn't want to have anything to do with it. But anyway, this video is not about her. This is about the Red Rover train set. And yeah, I'm very, very happy with this. Do you know what? That's 2 for 2 this week. 2 great products that have actually worked and we haven't really had any problems with them. You start to get disillusioned with buying items that you just want to work or just want to look like they should. And I think it's all too common with model railways now that you buy stuff and it just doesn't really work, or it's a bit wobbly or a bit flimsy, or it arrives broken, or it doesn't last more than an hour. And maybe I'm just picking the wrong products, but I do watch other people's channels, and I do see that I'm not the only one suffering with these problems. So I would suggest this is a great set. I mean, even if you just want another locomotive and rolling stock, you can sell off the power supply, you can sell off the controller, sell off the track, especially with the way track is like £4 a piece now for a curve. You know, you get your money back. The loco is 88 quid, so it's more than a bargain, this set. However, I do believe it's only select places, to name a few. The Range, it's at the Range for £139.99. It's at Very for £139.99, and I think there was a couple of other sort of big retail people who are doing it. I don't see any private or smaller companies, model shops doing it, which is a shame because I always want to try and support those sort of businesses, but I couldn't really pass up the opportunity to get this set for that kind of money. I might get another set just to break it for parts. At the price that it is. I don't know how long it's going to be at this price, so it's definitely worth it. It's a brilliant set if you're starting out. Really, really good, and it'll pull more than enough wagons, more than enough to get you started. Very versatile, works on first radius, second radius. It'll work on pretty much everything. So a really, really good set. We're doing well here. You watch me. The next item I buy will be back to normal and there'll be something horrendously wrong with it. But hey, I can't complain today. That's as I said, 2 for 2. So wish me luck on the next purchase.